RTF back with a vengeance, back with a different player than they had last season, rocking out with Hungry Boy and not Hook Resets. Bozo Bunch, very interestingly, rocking out with 3 different players than the last time these two teams faced off. So, not maybe not quite the revenge that they're looking for, but we're seeing Dropleto is not here today. That is Kotone, Big Tony in the house on the Rasmus, on the size start. Honestly, like, a wonderful day to be that guy. But here we are revving up in what has been a pretty standard beginning to the game. We've got your one barrier down on both sides. We've got some shenanigans going on in the midfield. That guy's about to die. Like, it's par for the course.
We love when that guy is about to die, don't we? Nothing but good striking gameplay going on here. You can see real quick the bans here, Luna and Kazan on out of there. Of course, size start is going to make Kazan really enticing to a pick. But they do have Fight or Flight, which is like really strong awakening to just be given gifted on your start. As we're going to have overtime roll on through here. Merchant defending the ball here, giving it on over to Streak to try to get it on through. Minor miscalculation to give the ball right back to Merchant, although a 2v1 could happen here from Hungry Boy and Leo Leon. Moffin quickly giving the ball right on back here. A flip here to try to avoid Hungry Boy's control with that Supernova. See if Kotone can get themselves on in there, although Moffin Kui is going to nicely hop in the center there, trying to give the ball on over to Hungry Boy. A flip there from Leo Leon is going to certainly secure that one and knock Merchant right out of the way, and Streak can't seem to grab that one out of the flip. The first point on out to return to form.
Yeah, and return to form has shown up. They took the Vice away from Merchant and are rocking out with this Vice and forward duo to just do unlimited damage. And we really saw it, especially like Streak got taken really low multiple times. Lowest stagger character in the game is going to happen. We saw Tony get chipped down, get really low. And just as everyone is at threat of getting kit dumped, blown up, and especially in these early sets where there aren't a lot of awakenings to help keep people alive or fight back, we're going to be seeing a lot of KOs come out from RTF, I think.
I agree here. That is going to be a ton of damage here from Vice's and Taro, and just more as the game goes on. Big finish comes out favorably here for Merchant. They're going to get the ball away there. Nice kill. Can they survive the situation from the flip? Hungry Boy waits it out. Great patience. Sees the strikes from the opposing team and gets it on through there. It is a tough mix-up to play when the opponent is flipping right in your face and you're thinking, do I strike? Should I not strike? Strike's the only thing that can stop this flip, but I can't really... Yeah, you can't really react to it. It's a tough spot, and it's just going to be favorable for he who flips, they who flip. So, well played there from Hungry Boy to wait it on out there, although Supernova is going to take a barrier of their own, as they're going to try to maintain control here with Thunderstrike, get it on through, going to get a triple defense situation here. Big finish, gives it on over to Leo Leon, not super favorable here for Merchant. In fact, quite bad situation as Leo Leon's Oni Blade gets the last barrier here from Bozo Bunch. Now Streak is looking a little bit low here. Could possibly find themselves off the board here, out of the game for 13 seconds, trying to keep themselves alive with a couple of stuns. Really having a tough time just regenerating, although they finally do get out of stagger. But now slow health pool is going to keep them in threat as the final barrier goes down for RTF to get it on through. Kotone can get their hands on that ball. Streak is right up top there to help it on through. The big finish stops the ball, gives it to Leo Leon though. Moffin Kui with a really good redirect. Not good enough to get the ball in just yet. Supernova favorably here once again for Hungry Boy. A flip from Leo Leon's going to go for a flick there. Yeah, tries to go for the Oni Blade combo, but a flip from Merchant's going to keep it alive. And a dribble from Kotone. Nice whiplash is going to get it on through. That was well played. It kind of felt like Bozo Bunch was really not favored in that situation, but they made it work there.
Yeah, really. Tony was able to just find enough space to get the dribble that he needed. And then had a nice 1v1 against Moffin Kui. He was able to just send it right up, put them on the board, and really, like, he's going to work right now, fighting for his country, as this team that he was put on, I think, like last week, to play in this match. And so, getting 1 point on the board, it's too early to start saying all it takes is a trickle, but that is a power play that we're seeing for Bozo Bunch. And the other net's open. They have the momentum going on right here, and just got a barrier.
Yep, one barrier down here, one to go. Atlas blows up right in the center of the board. Streak does maintain control of this ball for just a few moments there. Get a lot of energy doing a little bit of ping-ponging there with the opposing goalie, but it'll still work out to give you some experience and some levels too. The ball does not seem to roll on into that barrier there. Merchant, tough situation with a lot of extra strikes there from Leon, but had the big finish to cover themselves for just a moment. Now into the hands of Kotone. See if they can make it work, although they're getting kind of stunned all over the place here with the help of Hungry Boy. Overtime does seem to roll on through. Moffin feels a little bit of threat in there. Going to end up spending the old Hungry Boy, now looking a little bit weak. Spends the evade, gets the orb, and now it's Kotone that's really on death's door. Will they be able to get this barrier in time? I'm not really sure. Leon does not get the point, but they do get the kill.
Yeah, KO found great flip to catch that barrier, keep it alive here, getting the ball to Leo. He's taking a little bit of damage here, but oh, another great flip. Both these goalies just on point right here, locked in, not letting anything go, but some great passes. Leo rolling in on death's door, does not care, able to get that right in the top corner, weave it in. That's RTF taking that first set. Hungry Boy with the first pick has a lot to choose from, but is going to be locking in the team player. Word on the street, team player midfield on Atlas's lab is broken, and you have a lot of opportunities for rotations, and team player in general just broken. Today I will have a lot of core speed, and the enemy will have to react to it. So very nice. But that's Asher and Rasmus also picking up size. Both characters going to be enjoying that great... Oh, no. Sorry, I lied. I made that up. That's going to be Tony on the stagger. Little reptile remedy and size on Moffin, which is scary because I think just getting through the Asher is always going to be difficult. And now she's even bigger, So I think Bozo Bunch has a little bit of a hill to climb here if they want to win this next set, the game, etc.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a little bit more work here. Solid Awakenings all around. One barrier down here for RTF. See if they can get it on through here. Bozo Bunch trying to push into the bottom side. But yeah, really big Asher, a really big barrier beam is going to keep that one alive too. Atlas Ab pops favorably here for Bozo Bunch, but it's not enough just yet. Kotone unable to really get the ball on through 2v1. Hungry Boy is really all over the map here, playing defense when they need to, playing offense when they need to, having the access to Thunderstruck, just being an ability, the way it works, gives them a lot of control over the map and a lot of stuns, even spends evades from the enemy team as well. Vice, just a menace, really good at playing a lot of different roles. As the final barrier does end up going down for Bozo Bunch, but they have a little bit of control here. The possession remains for Bozo Bunch. The big finish goes off. A flip. It's a little bit scary there. Merchant's going to keep control as long as they can. Streak now self-dribbling it there for Kotone, but can't seem to manage to get this barrier just yet. The dribble's not going to work out here. A flip from Moffin. Solid angle, but it doesn't seem to work out there. Merchant fast enough to get there in time. Kotone and Merchant are going to give up the ball there because the Supernova is just a little bit too threatening. Red ball here from the team, like you mentioned. Team player from the midfielder makes things really awkward for the opposing team. They do end up surviving the situation, but for how long? Leone's blade goes off again. Leon just about at no health here, and man, can Bozo Bunch finally get the barrier? They do. Can they land the point while Leo is basically out of the game?
Yeah, Leo forced to go get an orb, heal back up. Scary situation, but Tony here just going 1v3 mode in the net and not able to get it in, but putting up a massive fight against all three members of RTF here. We've just been seeing, it looks like RTF has the ball so much, and they're able to contain it, but are struggling to really secure the deal, whereas Bozo Bunch, they get the ball a few times, and their offenses look so much more focused or potent. That being said, sometimes all it takes is one big strike war, and sometimes you get rocketed into the corner by the black hole. I guess I'm here. Nothing to do but try.
Leo gets forcibly eject buttoned into the strike war that actually ends up securing the point. These things do happen. You try to get kills, you try to hit people around the board, and sometimes it just do not go where you want it to go. Worst barrier down. Bozo Bunch is going to need a little bit more than that to keep this one in the game. Leon has nice control here with this dribble. Okay, actually threatening enough to get Merchant to spend the flip. Nice from Moffin. Keep that barrier alive for just a moment, but A lot of pressure coming after there from Kotone, and they do end up managing to get it here. Oni's Blade's gonna be a really tough situation. Ends up getting a kill. Oh man, a big power play here for RTF, although bigger play there from Kotone, managing to get it right around Moffin, who might have just not had a cooldown there. Nice work, Kotone, to keep themselves alive.
Yeah, Kotone walking up, just eating the Asher secondary, and then catching the ball with his strike right there. Got both barriers really quickly that point. Bozo Bunch hit, especially in remarkably stark contrast to the point prior, which lasted, you know, five days and 5 nights. Here, a big KO found is going to be a great opportunity, but Leon not wanting to let up is going to be taking a barrier and playing some defense too, just by doing so much work for the team while Hungry Boy is down, which is just kind of that's the name of Leo's game. He is always where the ball is, helping out. And oh my, massive supernova is just going to be sending that right in for RTF, taking another point and close to taking another set here.
Yeah, RTF looking poised right now to take the next set and possibly on route to take this whole game. They're playing quite well, but Bozo Bunch isn't too far behind here though. And each point feels like it is definitely competitive. Kotone foiled a little bit there by the path splitter, although it does end up getting the barrier, but the team does end up losing at the last barrier. Leon really on point there with those solo situations, kind of just on the 1v1 era right now. Leon making it happen. Trying to get a couple of stuns there. One barrier still up for RTF. Sets up the drone. Streak can't manage to get the ball on through here. Kotone having a tough time as well. Supernova comes out, blasts the ball right into the hands of Merchant. Now we're in another situation where Hungry Boy is going to end up playing a little bit of defense here. Even Leon playing a lot of defense as the opposing team has a lot of control. Big Finish comes out to try to stop Leon from approaching. Although Streak almost helps the opponent team score, it might have actually been favorable for their own team. Leon looking really low right now. They're trying to get a kill. They might spend maybe one too many resources in here as Hungry Boy and Moffin are making their way down with this crazy zigzag, although Merchant, nice flip there, is going to stop Leon from scoring 4 now, although still in the game. It's so rough when you spend so many cooldowns and just don't end up getting the kill. Here comes another supernova to really just open up the board. This whole goal is just really just struggling right now to get it on through, and honestly, RTF is just, while I'm trying to say they're maintaining so much possession, Kotone does get the final barrier. Can they manage to sneak this one in?
Yeah, we're just seeing so much defense come out from Bozo Bunch, Streak and Merchant. Both wonderful goalies. Streak obviously not with goalie gear, but doesn't matter because they can hold for as long as they need to, because eventually the ball is going to get to Kotone and he's going to do a little bit of that and bring us to a 0.5 here.
Nice work, Kotone. Kind of had double coverage there, right? Like, was sending the hook, could possibly end up hitting Moffin to get the ball in, or getting the hook to get the ball there too. Really good positioning. The Big Finish comes out, makes things a little bit awkward, but nice interaction. Success there from Merchant is going to keep the barrier alive for just a little bit longer. Streak going to get a little bit of energy there, get a little bit of health regeneration, although gets kind of sniped by the Thunderstruck with no evade left, really nothing left except for this lifeline, which is maybe a little bit of a sneaky trick there. Streak keeps themselves in, although they can't maintain control of this barrier. They do find a kill, which is maybe just as good. Secondary there spent from Moffin could have resulted in trouble. If Kotone gets their hands on that ball, Big Finish comes out to stagger Hungry Boy out completely. Streak can't get it through with Moffin and Leon returning to the board. Supernova is going to stall for just a moment here, though. Kotone trying to get the ball as quickly as they can, spending the hook to just try to get it on through. Ball rolls into the hands of Merchant. Leon stops it once again and maintains possession here. Almost gets it on through there with just a straight shot, but not going to work out just yet. Overtime rolls on through, and still a barrier up for RTF.
Yeah, we saw Leon get the barrier and give his life for it, but Bozo Bunch in the power play, unable to get anything, just really fighting to get this ball here. And meanwhile, Leon keeps catching these team player passes, and the defense on Bozo is just so strong, and the Supernova going a little awry here. Kotone has this flip, has the opportunity. Leon needs to put it in now, you know, on this offense if they want to win this set here.
Yeah, it's tight. I mean, we could see the high value coming out from having team player on your midfielder. I mean, it's making these shots just so much more deadly Hungry Boy keeping the speed of that pass. It's not going to work out just yet. Kotone is trying to get active, spends that flip. It does hit Leo Leon, does a little bit of damage, but can't strike the ball just yet now. Sending their sights onto Leo Leon. Might be good enough to get a kill. Atlas Avs showing up, knocking everyone around. Now Leo Leon is finally staggered, unable to receive passes as easily until they literally receive a pass easily. Whoops. My bad, everybody. You know, yeah. Nice pass. Nice pass.
Yeah, wonderful pass. And Leo catching that with the dash, able to send it in right there. And Hungry Boy, once again, first pick on the draft, gunning for the twin drive. That's going to be unlimited mobility for the Vice, which is one of her weakest points. So more secondaries, also more damage, more times to hit people. And so a lot of opportunity there. This time the Size Awakening does go the way of Kotone, able to match Moffin Koei here on the 2 Size Awakening situation. Moffin Koei picking up Glass Cannon, which is going to be nice, but with how much Kotone's been in this guy's face and just constantly pressuring him, I think it's going to be hard to keep up that Glass Cannon. Other things, I'm looking at the Leo Leon Stinger for just putting out a ton of damage, and especially I'm looking at Hot Shot on Merchant, which kind of evens out the core speed that they were lacking after the team player pickup for RTF. So able to generate a lot of offense out of the goal box, which is really what this team needs, because Merchant and Streak are doing a great job holding it down on the back line, but having trouble forcing it forward here.
Yeah, the Asher seems to be their really tough challenge right now, is getting through Asher, getting through Hungry Boy when they're playing second defense. Here comes a big flip, but nice primary there for Merchant, is actually going to linger right in front. Big finish comes out, Supernova comes out, knocks Streak around, but it's not going to get the kill just yet. Just stop them from regenerating for a little bit here into the hands of Kotone and Streak. They have a moment. Their moment has passed here where the the power play has now ended, although it is now reversed onto the opposing team as Streak is taken on off the map. The ball is going at light speed right now with that team player. The overtime is just so threatening. Max range flip ends up getting the ball at hands of Kotone. Okay, kind of a tricky shot there, goes for down, but Moffin Koei is wise to what's going on and keeps that one alive as well. Leo Leon kind of in a solo situation here, though. Streak does get that ball. That was really tight. No problem there, though. Kotone trying to get it on through once again. Streak pushing it to the top side. Gets foiled a little bit there. Now Hungry Boy and Leo Leon might have a 2v1 situation here. Streak's trying to interrupt the passes, staying right in between. Merchant doesn't end up evading, but somehow wins that situation. Either way, triple take is going to keep it in the hands of Kotone, and they do manage to get it. Moffin Koei does kind of... I think they pretty much hit the ball there, but not the angle we were looking for.
Yeah, it was a little awkward, but, you know, Envy, Zeyoshi has fallen off the map, and I'm here to sub in. But, yeah, what I'm seeing right now is that Bozo is requiring a lot of miracles to get it done, right? It kind of feels like they're depending on getting it to Tony over and over, and eventually getting the goal in. Well, on the other hand, the team player win condition just continues to be so reliable for RTF, and it's so scary whenever they're the ones passing, but an overextension from Moffin and RTF are the ones in trouble.
Yes, really great whiplash dribble there from Kotone. Is going to take that barrier away from the challenge that they've been trying to deal with this entire time. Just getting the ball right on through that Asher. They find a power play of themselves as well. This could be really a big here for Bozo Bunch if they can just get the ball over to Kotone one more time. They still have to get it through this Asher, who's looking quite large right now and certainly has full cooldowns here. Hungry Boy finally returning to the board. The big finish comes out, does not work out favorably here for Bozo Bunch. Merchant ends up spending the flip, goes up on top. Kotone does get their hands on the ball, gets struck by that Thunder, though, and now is in a close quarters combat here with Leo, but ends up winning out with the help of Streak as well. Moffin Koei has flip 2 to make this even more deadly. Merchant avoids getting hit by the hook, but instead, sorry, not by the hook, but gets sniped, unfortunately, by Leo Leon and Hungry Boy, and it's going to be a power play for RTF. Can they live? Can they survive?
Oh, they cannot. It's Hungry Boy with the snipe on the follow-up after the bad bounce, and Envy, this team player is doing so much work. Hungry Boy's back passing to Moffin. Moffin's rocketing it forwards with that team player boost. It is ridiculous.
It is kind of ridiculous. Team player almost looking like it's better on the midfield than it is on the goalie. You know, your midfielder should be hitting the ball more times, thus just getting more value in general. So could be something to think about here in the future. It's one barrier down here for RTF. Spends the ult, felt a little bit of threat there from Moffin Kui, but barrier will still hold as they have a pretty good amount of possession on the top side. Strike advantage too, now strike disadvantage as Streak comes in and wins that situation. Merchant pushing up a little bit here though. Kotone looking kind of weak, staying in the midfield. Spends that flip, gets kind of foiled by the big finish though, unfortunately. Gonna move back and just grab an orb, which is gonna result in a overwhelming pressure to lose that first barrier on the bottom side. Moffin Kui keeping it up with that secondary too. Merchant kind of hands the ball over to Leo Leon. Streak might have been open there. Wins the situation, then kind of loses it there from that slice and dice, and now their goal is open. Things are really tough here. Hungry Boy had a cooldown. Merchant wins that situation there. Stun from Kotone, but they can't seem to get it through this Asher, and like you mentioned, it continues to having it. Like you mentioned, it's just so hard to get it through this Asher. The miracles might need to show up a little sooner than later as RTF is looking at match point.
Yeah, really. Guys, I'm back. Hi. we are just seeing RTF really hold infinitely, and they're generating a lot of offense. And I think the big thing is it's two things. One, they're winning. They're gonna win right now. They're gonna win in the middle of while I'm talking. Wow.
Can they do that? Can they win while you're talking?
I don't think they're allowed to. We're gonna look into it. I think they won because we saw Leo and Hungry Boy just pushing up against their double defense so well and doing a lot of passing in between each other. And I think the other half of that is that the team player supplemented that playstyle so well they were able to pass between each other, generate a ton of force speed, and then just, rocket launch the core into their direction. And then that's really difficult to deal with. That is not... and everyone saw how fast that was going. Like, just super tough. But hey, a quick final point. Some like 15-second point is just gonna seal the deal there. Game 1 goes to RTF here, and I mentioned last series there's a whole bunch of 2-2 teams. So this week, right now, anyone who can get a leg over a different 2-2 team is going to be incredibly happy, because if the competition is stiff and RTF is here showing up trying to win this as quickly as possible, just get their win and get out.
Yeah, for sure. Getting around that big old 2-2 brick in the results is going to be certainly advantageous, and you just want to secure a win under your belt no matter what. Our RTF was looking really good there. That team player actually working overtime. Hungry Boy just positioned themselves really nicely to receive all those passes, all those interactions, man. Just covering the space that they needed to, and just giving the ball on over to Leo Leon. It's like you can see the damage numbers here. I know the screen is gone, but honestly, they weren't too far off. Like, Bozo Bunch had a lot. Actually, total probably had more damage. Actually, definitely had more damage than RTF. But the ability to like confirm kills and just like, I don't know, just play better around the staggered teammates or the staggered opponents. It just kind of worked out for them. They just kind of played, I think, those situations a little bit better. And when your teammate is staggered for too long, getting kind of knocked around, they can't really play. That opens up a lot of objectives here and applies a lot more pressure to the goalie. Whatever. We all know how to play. Strikers there. Well played, RTF. Can't believe it. Actually can believe it very easily. Although they did win while you were talking. So that, not really sure if that one's in the rules. Definitely get Saya. Well, we'll have to see Saya later for that one. But we're going to move on to the next game here, though, which is on the map you guys already know. I'm pretty sure it is Clarion. Yep, Clarion's the test chamber. Fun map. Love this map as a commentator. Actually, I like to play it too. It's all good, but yeah, a lot of versatility is gonna have to show up for this map here, though, and it makes a lot of interesting picks. I say it every week, bro. Juliet, be a top tier on half of these variants here, and sometimes things are beautiful. Yoshi.
Absolutely. I'm I love watching Juliet. And we've been seeing a lot of Juliet picks recently. I believe the line is 92% win rate,
Whew,
if I'm remembering correctly.
that's a
Something
lot.
I actually that is a lot. I don't remember where that came from. I'm parroting something else, but that's word on the street. Juliet's winning a lot, and I think the streets the streets are right this time. It's especially in Clarion. It's like you said, she's good on so many variants. You get so many narrow spaces to just fish for dash punches. And generally, it's kind of like the barriers are the same as Night Market. Julie also loves Night Market because it's a narrow map, but you have these broad barriers that are pretty easy to pick up. You can dash punch, try and force it through the corner if you don't have dash punch. On other maps where the barriers are smaller, you're like, well, I did my best. Team, let's see what we can do. But on this map, you can get around with striking and getting the opposite side of the barrier, manipulating it around, which again harder on other maps. So I think Juliet is a star pick here. I don't know if we'll be seeing the pick. I know Tone is fond of playing the Juliet. I know Leo's played a lot of Juliet in the past, historically, but he's kind of just been picking Zen all season and then putting on performances like we just saw. Like he is just sweeping games on the pick. So if I'm that guy, I'm like, hey, maybe Juliet does sound good, but you know what else sounds good? The guy that I've been winning on all season. So
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
we will have to see. I am curious to see if RTF manages maybe you think they'll manage like a Rasmus ban in this one. Could maybe try to ban out Kotone or like try to take away maybe I feel like we're gonna see Kazan is the thing. I feel like Kazan, of course depending on the starting awakenings is man, Kazan is so good. I feel like Kazan is so good in so many situations and like there's a lot of tight corners where things like topspin just like hold the line by itself and things like pop up too. I think he's also quite good on side lanes more often than Juliet, right? Because like you just need two strikes. You do not need biggest dash punch ever to just win a midfield situation, right? Like Kazan is like okay, like strike dash pop up, and now I still have everything else, and I'm still a threat, and I've gotten through. But like I don't know. I think with side lanes and like midfielding like that, or like at least the brawlers like clashing heads, I think Kazan kind of wins out way more often, having a way lower cooldown on his like double strike than Juliet. Although she does have like strike punch if she wants to hold that. But we'll see here. We do have Stinger and we do have Reptile Remedy, kind of the antithesis of each other here. Trying to get some stagger and trying to get some regen. Really, just like the antithesis, right? Like one is just regenerating you, and one of them is degenerating you. What are they gonna pick, Yoshi? What are they gonna
Yeah.
do?
I'm I'm expecting definitely both brawlers locking in that reptile remedy, just putting on putting on the live juice, taking a big sip and just not worrying about getting blown up. We are seeing Bozo Bunch banning the Juliet. We saw last game that they banned Luna and then picked Vice, which put Merchant in an awkward situation. We saw Merchant Finny come out. I don't think I've ever seen Merchant Finny. It looked phenomenal, but Merchant is a player that generates so much offense with the eject button, and so not having the eject button. Oh, sorry, I'm lying. I'm making stuff up. We saw RTF ban Luna, pick Vice. This time, Bozo's banning Julie, RTF's banning Vice, not letting that go through. So we couldn't see a Luna first pick from Bozo, but they did not want the Juliet to go through. they heard what we were talking about, and they said, "Actually, no, we're not." That one was pretty high. We're not letting that through.
Right? They heard you spouting out the win rates, and they're like, wait. Can we not? I'm not trying to deal with a 90% win rate here, but they're gonna go with the Luna on to Bozo Bunch here, though. Merchant certainly is going to be enjoying themselves a little bit of Luna today. That's kind of I know people are always like, "Go Merchant Vice, Merchant Vice," but when I really started playing and started seeing the game, Merchant was always on Luna, and so I just know Merchant as a Luna player. So it's pretty funny how that works out. They do steal up the Rasmus and the Estelle here, though, the wombo combo of midfielding, core controlling domination, like we had mentioned a little bit earlier in our last series, in fact, could result in a lot of extra barriers and objectives taken. That's a tough team to beat when you're not playing a melee goalie. We'll see if a melee goalie shows up.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not going to show
my
up.
eyes
It's Luna. What am I talking about?
not there. Not
It's
happening
Luna not
here.
there.
Not we're rocking Luna goalie, take flight or die. But hey, RTF could show up. It's either Rasmus on Moffin Koei locking that in, or hey, there's the Kazan
Oh, fuck.
taking it out. Yeah, just which is like melee goalie take. He's weird. It's such a strange. He's such a strange guy, Kazan goalie, but here just Moffin Koei putting his pick in the bag. Gonna be enjoying that, and hey, Ed, I'm always a big fan of Rasmus Estelle. That comp can do everything. It can just do everything. Can't argue with that. Juno Zentaro, also a forward pair that that does everything, but definitely leans into the damage a lot more. And with that Luna especially, we see Bozo Bunch really showing up with the offensive super damage comp this time, as opposed to RTF, who's taken a little bit more of a balanced thing going on here.
Yeah, we'll see if they can possibly find the kills that they're looking for. Reptile Remedy Start definitely does the best job, pretty much the best job of keeping you from getting staggered here. So if they're going to go for damage, they might have a little bit of a tough time. Luna does have a lot of interesting ways to control the core, though, right? Like Boost kind of does something that no other ability does, right? Like there are very few moves in the game that just teleport you across the map with no awakenings or nothing. Like Rune Secondary does get you there. Thunderstrike is pretty far, but it really is not getting you there until you walk away from it. Lifeline, really far, but like Luna can get anywhere on the map as long as she can navigate through some of these obstacles without any, buffs or anything going on. So she will be able to cut off of these cut off the clears that Moffin Koei might be looking for here. And now they're going to start here on Atlas's Labbington, small Atlas lab. No explosion in the center here. That's going to end up killing you. Well, I guess it'll kill you if you're staggered. But either way, starting out on Atlas Lab, one barrier down here from Bozo Bunch. Merchant smacking their face right into Atlas's orb. Don't quote me on that. Leo Leon trying to get the ball there with that. And finally does get that barrier, although a kill being expressed here for RTF might make things a little bit awkward here. I like the dribble there from Moffin Koei. Really had nowhere to go against Merchant's positioning there. The power play is just about over here. Get Kotoni back on that board to see it with this open barrier if they can get it on through. Streak spending out the primary to get it through once again. Leo Leon, nice receive there and nice angle. Merchant was, it looks like Merchant did actually end up hitting the ball after it got scored though.
Oh wow. Yeah, unfortunate there then, but great hook from Leo. Swing that thing straight forward, close to a flip as well. We're seeing this is a full Reptile Remedy lobby. Everyone is picking up their Naked Drakar and healing off of it, greatly. And also, we're seeing Bozo Bunch take double mag souls on their forwards, whereas last game they were on double slick kicks. So very interesting, but right now, not one of them having a little bit of trouble finding the midline as he is dying. That is going to be Leo Leon on the other team, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. He also has mag souls though, so looking to just push forward. He is really struggling in there. It is tough on this variant, which I think favors. It's just so nice. There's not a whole lot of damage coming out, so Bozo Bunch getting that extra damage is going to be nice. But Estelle strikes again, as she tends to do, as she always does. Beam, be upon ye, and that's going to be 2 points for RTF right here, right now.
Yep, looking to bring this game, this series to a close, honestly. RTF looking quite good there. A lot of pressure being applied here from Bozo Bunch. Here comes the Crater Maker, but it doesn't do anything too favorable here for Bozo Bunch. Streak trying to maintain control of the ball here. Okay, Lilian spends the Death's Touch to get a couple of stuns. Merchant whiffing on that read. It's going to result in the bottom barrier going down, although Kotone ends up winning out on that situation is going to result in them getting a barrier, which is going to even out this count here. Merchant sending a couple of missiles forward on in there. The whammies are going to try to wham the opponent. Flip right into the face of the opponent. Streak manages to get that barrier. Oh, minor possible miscalculation, possible very calculation there from Merchant. It's going to make a tricky strike and keep the barrier alive, though. Hungry Boy tries to go for a clear read there. Unfortunately, the Creator Maker is going to be unfavorable for Bozo Bunch. A flip here from Kotone. He's going to go for a flick with the reinforcement of Merchant, but the ball was actually a little too fast in that spot. Okay, now Leolian has a Death's Touch to keep control of the ball. Moffin Kui can't block. I mean, Kotone really wins that strike war there. Nice work to get the even, actually not even, just take a point in the set.
Yeah, great strike war. Gonna be securing that. That's 1 point for the Bozo Bunch here. And right now, it's kind of a little bit of the same as last game. They've got a tough situation ahead of them if they want to win this set. This variant, I think, favors Rasmus and Estelle so heavily they don't have to get into the enemy goal box to still put a ton of pressure with their primaries, with all the other abilities they have, and so offense, it's just super easy, especially against a Luna. They can just, yeah, throw all of their abilities out onto her location. Merchant still making the hold, though, and just a ton of offense coming out from Bozo Bunch here. They have the opportunity, and I think getting through the Kazan with characters like Luna, Zen, and even Juno is not going to be too difficult, but they have to hold on right now as both nets are open.
Yeah, it's tough. Bouncy House, man, it is, no matter what character you're playing, this is just simply a hard variant to play on for, like, I'd say, like, all of the roles are like, man, no one can control the ball, and things are just really tough, unless you're Rasmus, and in that spot right there, quick Death's Touch is going to absorb the ball right into Leo Leon, gets a nice strike, and Merchant can't get there in time. RTF, once again, looking good, taking the lead here, and taking the first set. We got Hungry Boy grabbing the first real, actually changes your stats awakening. What will it be to combo with this Reptile Remedy?
I'm going to be taking that team player, not letting Merchant have that at all. Merchant's going to be picking up the stacks. That's the other thing that I was looking at on this draft. Stacks. We haven't been seeing many KOs. And it's Reptile Remedy start. So, hey, stacks got to feel really nice. It's kind of a shame that's going on Merchant, the goalie, who has an ability that can take him anywhere on the map that he wants. But, hey, in those tight situations in the box, speed is never bad on goalie. Speed is never bad on anyone. The speed is awesome. Today I will go fast. And so that's going to be a big pickup and off rip. Holy moly, I wasn't even just like in a flash. 8-second point in the bin. Bozo Bunch showing up to play. Just rocking it right there.
Yeah, I do partially agree. I've noticed that recently, stacks is so hard to stack. Like, in general, as a goalie, like, I know Merchant's going to pretty much be offensive and get in there a lot of the time, but stacking the stacks to get those 150 has never felt harder than, like, current patch, maybe even a patch before. So we'll see if Merchant can actually get that active. Only 24 stacks right now and already a point that's been exchanged on the board. Both barriers down here for Merchant as well is going to be really tough. I mean, playing Bouncy House from this exact position is really, really tough as they keep that one. Oh, man, they win the interaction against that flip. Okay, Leon goes for a really tricky situation, but Merchant reads it nicely, but a lot of extra reinforcement there from Hungry Boy is going to get the ball line in there. Bouncy House gone, at least for this set. Might be favorable for Bozo Bunch if Merchant's trying to at least get their hands on the ball, stack some of those stacks, get some of those whammies in there. As you can see, 2 stacks for a light hit, 4 stacks for an actual hit. So I'm looking to keep my eye on Merchant.
Yeah, the more speed that guy gets, the better he's going to hold. It's just not going to have to expend the boost to try and cover one side of the net. Has a flip here for defense. Not going to use it. Leo just ripping his, taking the barrier. Looking a little low, though. Might be in trouble. He's going for an orb, has the Reptile Remedy, a flip burned right there by Streak. But now Bozo Bunch has the ball and is trying to push through Hungry Boy and Moffin Koi right here. And it's weird. We're seeing a little bit of an inverse of how the last game played out, where now it's RTF on the double defense and the double offense being piloted by Bozo Bunch here.
Yeah, they're looking good right now. Merchant's got this flip. In case anything goes awry, maybe they use that for a nice offensive push. They have control of the ball here. Okay, tight situation there. Going to follow it up with a boost of their own. Oh my god, Streak ends up, it looks like, losing a strike war. Maybe they just struck a little bit early. The ball was really fast, but Leon gets it on through with that pull. Man, the ball was going surprisingly fast in that situation. Maybe see Hungry Boy does have that team player. Overtime certainly going to be favoring RTF here. Has one barrier already gone down. The pendulum swing to combo with that one steals both barriers from Merchant. Leo looking quite good right now. Moffin not even going to drop a barrier of their own. Crater Maker to give the ball right on back to Merchant. Katone is a little bit weak right now, though. Has that flip, could possibly combo with it. Might have been able to find a kill there, though, but they're going to end up holding on to this flip, spending it maybe for a barrier. But they are completely staggered now. The goo is awaiting their arrival. Kazan, not too many characters in the game as good as confirming kills as Kazan, so you do not want to be in Moffin clutches here as they're fighting back to grab more of these barriers. One down at least, but it's really a tough situation. Moffin doing such a good job defending right now, and Crater can't find its mark, and things are looking a little bit rough for Bozo Bunch as they get kind of shot, kind of in the face, kind of Estelle, kind of Hungry Boy right there.
Feeling a little Hungry Boy right there, as he's going to be just raking in these first picks here and really gets whatever he wants. We see Stinger back in the pool. I'm looking at things like Bulk Up could be nice. The 1-2 punch, never bad. Super Surge could also be nice. Just a whole lot. Taking the prime time, which Merchant was hovering. We're getting more primaries. You're getting more coverage, and the primaries have just been getting some insane value. Right here, Orb Replicator going to Merchant. Gonna be energy farming for the fellas here. And Super Surge denied by Moffin Koei. Going long range Kazan, all terrain here. And Katone forced to pick up the big fish instead, which is still nice. That's a much bigger ult for Zentaro. I think size, I would say, is underrated on the character, but it's feeling pretty rated as people are appreciating it more and more. But still, just not like other pickups would be nice, but now Bozo Bunch just really in a difficult situation as both barriers are down.
Yeah, tough spot. I do want to mention, you know, the stacks did not get stacked in 4 points of that last set. They're at 144 there, so they didn't actually get full value out of the stack. It's just really tough right now. In some situations, you just can't get your hands on the ball so much. Yeah, both barriers down here. Flip coming out. A lot of bars on the side of Kotone there, but they don't manage to get it on through just yet. Moffin defending here with, once again, the help defensive Hungry Boy. The Crater Maker makes things a little bit awkward, but not awkward enough to get RTF really dropping that situation here. Spends the primary to help get it on through here. Leon wins another situation with the help of Strike Advantage. Gets the pendulum swing, but a little too far. Not too big of a defense there from Merchant. Not having too much problem there. Goes in, wins the situation against Leon. Man, gives it right over to Katone, who wins that situation too. And that one landed it in there because Merchant stayed long enough to move forward. That was beautiful.
Yep, W Merchant. That's just what that guy is known for. He does it so often. And here, that's 1 point for Bozo Bunch. They've got quite a few points they have to score if they want to win this series. You know, the mountain is here, and they got to stare it down right now. But 1 point, claiming the first one in the set, is going to be very nice. Characters like Zentaro, Luna that scale up like this are going to be really coming alive on set 3. So we are seeing that right here. And honestly, Katone has just he's been playing great all series, but having that power spike on the third set, he's got the big fish, he's got the reptile remedy. This guy is feeling healthy and is ready to go. And honestly, we're seeing it pay out. He is not taking a whole lot of damage, and he's just really getting these barriers down here.
Wow, keeps the speed there from that one. Moffin trying to sneak that last barrier in there. Hungry Boy gets a nice primary, but once again, Merchant just there, close enough to get the defense. Almost a win there from Katone. Here comes Merchant to try to keep that possession up, trying to give it to Katone one more time. Can't manage it, though. trying to get it through. Hungry Boy wins the situation here. Streak wins another one. Crater Maker is going to cause an evade to come out here from Hungry Boy, who is now out of energy. Might work out if we're looking for a kill here. Maybe a combo from Merchant. Okay, tries to move up to get that strike advantage, but not quick enough here as Moffin is going to spend one of their own. Not a lot of energy showing up right here for RTF. I mean, Bozo Bunch can... Okay, the barrier actually does end up going down for Merchant. Unfortunately, spends the boost to go wide. Not going to work out there either. Streak can't win against Leon right now. Hungry Boy gets the teleport stun strike with the Rose Warp. RTF really just one-upping right now here, though, even in this set. But they, man, it feels so hard to get around Moffin, man.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's Kazan in the open net lore. We're seeing these barriers go down pretty quickly. Bozo Bunch able to get them, but then trying to defend against, or trying to score on the guy with the hook. He's got dash. He's got a way bigger strike hitbox than anyone else. It's been really tough, and we're seeing, especially with the help of Hungry Boy, and just the ball is not getting through the RTF defense, and that's not what you want to see if you're Bozo Bunch. You know, again, because they're getting the barriers really quickly. They're holding on to their barriers, which is a lot harder for the Luna to do. They need to be able to secure these points, and the fact that they're having trouble with it means that we're going to be seeing RTF win the war of attrition. They need to find a good way to get some explosive playmaking soon.
Oh, nice hold there from Merchant. Now the stacks are stacked, 150 already, only 2 points. Merchant getting active as much as they can, hitting people when they need to, and now they're fast, can help themselves defend when they're out of cooldowns. When the offense doesn't work, spending the boost defensively is going to keep the point alive. Merchant, great reactions there. Nothing left from Estelle. Death touch onto Streak, but doesn't result in any point yet. Moffin moves up here with that pop-up. Now a situation here from Kotone is going to be nullified by the flip from Moffin. Leon smashing the ball in every direction, but can't maintain control. It's moving just a little bit too fast. Streak and Kotone have a lot of energy here. A flip instantly foiled from Moffin, and now Streak also has one. See if they can move up in time. Although the ball's moving so fast, it's really just keeping the ball away from Streak. Ends up spending the flip here, though. Going to stall it out, wait for cooldowns. Almost gets a dribble there from Kotone. Now they're maybe on a little bit of a lull here with low cooldowns. Self-dribble there from Kotone is not going to work out either here. Now a flip from Merchant. Interesting angle, but Hungry Boy does get their hands on it. Now it's Leon's turn to get close enough to the goal with this flip. Hungry Boy is the one who's going to have to give it to them. That was fast. That was 1-2.
That was quite fast. Oh my. A little bit of 1-2, spark of strength, 124 power, just every factor going in Leo's way. And bringing us to series point, Bozo Bunch, they've been showing that they can do it. Like, they have the potential, they're able to get it done, but really it's just RTF is showing up and giving everything that Bozo has back in spades, as that's just going to be a bounce off the edge, a primary from Leon, and that's going to secure the set. RTF going 3-2 in the season now.
Oof, GG's. Honestly, solid game. RTF just one step ahead in a lot of different situations there, though. A 3-0 victory, as we can see from the board. Checking out some stats. Gosh, we love stats. Only one kill in the entire game, gifted to Hungry Boy. Probably a Woes Warp or a piercing shot there. Redirects, any winning redirect champions? I mean, Streak does get it, but everyone in the 140 range, I mean, everyone is here to play. Streak, maybe just, I don't know, we just weren't in there enough. I'm not sure. Bozo Bunch just could not manage it. RTF was, I guess, synergized a little bit too well right here. The redirects are so even. That game felt pretty close, but again, it results in a close 3-0, which do exist, guys. Close 3-0s are real. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Anytime you tell anyone it's a close 3-0, it's real. Either way, nice work to RTF, and they're going to break out of that 2-2 record there, moving on to a 3-2 record. Really important, you know, you want to keep your records up, making these playoffs. You got so much more to play here, though, and that was pretty exciting game, Yoshi. I am happy to be a part of it there. That was good. That was a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like you mentioned, everyone kind of hovering in the 140 range on the redirects. I'm impressed at how consistent it was. How much everyone contributed and like pretty regularly. But I think it's watching RTF this season, it's hard to pick a standout player. It's like this guy was the real like hero of this game because they're all making hero plays all the time. Like Leo Leon just farms them in his sleep. But Moffin Koei had phenomenal holds the entire series, and Hungry Boy really showed up. That obviously the new player on the roster is going to be a question mark. Has just been showing out each game this series, and I think especially this series was looking really nice. Just
Oh yeah.
on like incredible offense in game one, incredible defense in game two. What can't this guy do? You know.
Yeah, so good. All of these players were just so active and so good, and these are certainly not the last time you're going to see these guys. We are going to go to a break once again, get our players loaded on in here. The next match coming up, you guys already know, Showtime against Sundubu Strikers. You're not going to want to miss this. We'll get some new commentators for you. Grab a snack, grab a drink, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.